Hey guys, Fred with AKK. In this one, we're going to see the application of the spar varnish or the clear coat to the vinyl wrap. Now that I finished that on the garnish molding here, so enjoy this one. Throw in any comments if you've got any. It's a few weeks later right now, and I've these things have turned out really good. I've wet sanded them, polished them, and they're finished and ready for install. So they're tucked away right now, but they turned out really good. And enjoy the video. Item number 6: let dry at least 4 hours. Then sand with light sandpaper. Apply a thin coat. Item 5: high quality natural bristle brush. That's spar varnish. Spar varnish. 4-hour cure. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 done of the 7 pieces. And I ran out of vinyl. And I've got the first coat of varnish on it now. So this will tie in the corners, give it the antique look. Spar varnish, or urethane, I guess in this case, is gonna be what? It's gonna have an amber effect to it, which is perfectly fine as long as I do everything in that. So right now, I'm taking these 4 pieces. I only have 1 strip of vinyl left. I ordered more. Teak wood wrap is what I should call it. It's just vinyl with it's just wallpaper. Anyway, so after I get all this done, I ordered the other set. I'll vinyl up the rest, but I've got other pieces that I'm going to work on for the dash and that will also be wood grain. And I'm going to build this out today every 4 hours, keep building it and building it and building it until I get, I suppose, 4 to 6 coats. And then come in and wet sand them down to a smooth finish. This is a satin. I was originally thinking gloss, but after much deliberation, I'm going to a satin. So, and for no other reason other than it just looks a little more natural and a little more realistic. So we'll keep rolling. All right, just laid down the second coat. It's been 4 hours. Back up a little here. Yeah. There. It's been 4 hours. Reset the timer. Time is 9:10. I finished the first coat at 5. Now it's 9:10, so about 1 o'clock, I suppose. I'll be in for the next coat, and I'll just keep going. I'll probably just get up from bed this evening because I'll go 1 will be the third coat, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock will be the PM, will be the 4th coat, 9 o'clock will be the 5th coat. Probably, I'll see how it looks. That might do it. If not, then I'll just get up at 1 in the morning and come out and coat it, go run in and go back to bed, and then look at it tomorrow morning and decide from there. Basically what I'm trying to do is bury, like, this is 2 pieces of wood, the parting line, some of this, as the wood comes around, it looks really good. But you can see, like right in there, you can see a little wrinkle, that kind of stuff. Once it's varnished, it'll look like a sand mark or grain or whatever. But I want to bury that so that I got enough layers to do that. And any undulations. I got a $10 brush, so a varnish brush, so that I'm not you know, it did lay down really good on the last coat. And I'm just going to continue to bury this into here. So, okay, since I have 4 hours between coats, I yanked the dash out and I bolted the aprons on for now. And what I am going to do, this is a little bit long, but this will be a 1/4 inch below this line. So what you'll leave it, this is 1 inch. So that'll leave it 1/4 inch below, hiding that reveal line, or that parting line. This is going to go all the way across here, and then it'll droop down. So it'll be 1/4 inch below, and then it'll droop down and cut off that end right there on this radius and catch the back of the console. Now, if you remember, the top of the console, I had to bolt all this stuff in, but the top of the console, so this is the aprons are down the side, the dash goes straight across here, this bolts into the dash, but the top of the console, then those radiuses will cut off and basically sweep into this 3/4 inch and cover it. So when my cover plate goes on, which I'm still debating on whether to wood grain that or what yet, but anyway, that'll go on. No, I won't wood grain it because this will be wood grain, but that'll go on and for all my controls. So I'll be in this space for all of my headlights and all of the things that are on the dash, right? Other than the radio, that's up there. So that's the plan, and I'm sticking to it. Then I can countersink, put riv nuts or whatever in here, countersink my screws to hold the top of the plate. Bottom of the plate will screw into, there's where the console goes in, so they'll probably be above there. All the screws will be hidden, and that cover plate then will go in right there and look just fine. So that's what I'm working on while those cure. Okay, so there's that hunk of wood. Comes out, runs up to the top of the steering wheel, kind of encompasses the steering wheel, covers that hole. I'll go over there. Okay, takes off, and it just kind of knife edges and comes over. I didn't want to do a full piece because I don't want to go any higher, because I got my 1/4 inch reveal on the dash, see, right at the top there. The gauges are back mount. I could step this area back, I suppose, but I wanted to keep that out because I want to put a pocket underneath for LED lights to wash down for display. I'm gonna go to the back here, get a better, and so I'll zoom a little bit. Let's see here, come on, there. So right in the center of the console and on that wider area, which is, you know, this area here, which is like almost 2 inches. I'm thinking I could just run a Chrysler emblem right across that. I think that'd be cool as all get out. So it sticks out an inch. It encompasses the aprons, follows down, ties into the console. The display will be on all the controls will be on the console, and so again, that's why I wanted to underlight that. I could even underlight all this, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. But it's not super proud of the dash. I mean, it's 1 inch proud. It's behind this area here, considerably behind it. It's hard to get a view on that, but well, here, there, on the outside corner. It's behind it about 3/4 of an inch, half to 3/4 of an inch, I guess. So it's tucked in there. I think I like it. I mean, that's the whole dash. I was thinking about a Chrysler emblem there, maybe there, but the old-fashioned script style. Um, you know, if you got thoughts on it, share them with me. I'd like to hear. The only thing I have is a shift indicator on that side. Maybe a clock on this side would be kind of cool. An old analog clock would be cool. I don't know yet. So either way, but I think I am going to run with it. I do like it. And about, what am I at here on these guys? They're clearly they're dry. They're certainly dry to the touch. And I'm 26 minutes away from the next coat. So better get on that. All right, 55 minutes left before the next coat, which is going to be coat 4. So I test fit this in the car, obviously. You saw that. Ran to the hardware store, big box store, and got a bunch of these. I got I have epoxy, various types of epoxy. So I'm going to chuck it up in the drill press now. I just ran wood screws, drilled holes and ran wood screws in the backside. So now I'll go on those centers and I'll do threaded inserts. This case 1024. And then I'll run from the inside. Oh, what am I going to run from the inside? I'm going to sort my pile. Yeah, 1024 half-inch button head caps, so I can get behind it with a Allen wrench and tighten all those down. So I got the 2 pieces that tests in there. It's nice and snug to the steering wheel. I can modify it a little bit. I'll come out here. I'll dress it up if I need to add any. Looks like, I got a crack there, a little Bondo, and then I got to seal this all up so that I can wrap it. So that's the plan. I'll pull off the little stub on the driver's side, throw it in the drill press with whatever, 19-30 seconds. Drill to a fixed depth and get those inserts installed, epoxied in and installed. Okay, so as I construct the wood piece for the console, I'm looking at the backlighting for the LEDs. Now it's unfortunately camera doesn't bring it up good, but you see, kind of washed out spots. Well, this white won't be here. The LEDs will be tucked up, so it's more important to look kind of at the bottom. And so if I go down to 6 volts, we back up just a little bit. That might help actually. There. So the bottom line represents the bottom of the console. It's just the plywood that I was using as a jig earlier on. The bright light you won't see. It'll just be washed down like that. You won't have this shadow because it's just held on by a chip clip, right? But there's 6 volts and 12 volts. And so maybe if I do this and that, you know, so I can put it on a rheostat or a variable resistor, and which I already have, which is in the dash headlight switch, you know, turn up and dim and brighten the lights. But anyway, so that will wash down the pad. Earlier I tried it with 4, and I just didn't think I could get the brightness. This might be a little too bright, but it can be turned down, so I'm gonna run with it. Just again, back to LED sockets, some soldering and some connections. These LEDs take 3.33 volts. So I put 4 across, 4 on each side. They're super bright white. What, 3.33 times 4 is what? 13.4, right? 3.33, 13.2, something like that if I'm doing my math right. So they should be able to take a full alternator charge, you know, is usually in around the 14.4 at the peak, 14.7 at the peak, but don't think I'm gonna ever hit that. If I do, replace a bulb, or if it blows, and throw a modest resistor in the circuit to dim them down or drop the voltage to them. In any regard, we're running with that. Okay, so kind of try to tie together the whole concept. This is the back side of the piece. Those are on. If you remember, this goes into here. The dashboard, the bottom edge of the dashboard is right here. Okay, so this is just a piece of 24 gauge metal, you know, A36 or whatever, sheet metal. I sprayed because I knew I was going to drill these holes and all that, and I knew I'm not that sensitive to, I just don't want it to rust, so I sprayed it with white paint. Being I learned the old baking process, you know, I got the toaster oven for enamel. I tossed it in at 170, 180, whatever. It's a toaster oven. You can't really, it says 150, 200, you know, but in that neighborhood. And baked it off. So now it's completely dry. I mean, it's been about 2 hours since I pulled it out of there. But anyway, and then I ran the LED array, 4 and 4, did my hot melt glue. And so now, if I relieve the area below the dash line here, I go down 9/16 of an inch. I'm 1 inch thick. This guy will pop into there, okay? And I can trim it. You know, I'm going to clear the tops of the LEDs. This will actually come forward. It's just, you know, hot melt glued in place. I got to get some strain resistance to it. That gets routed out. I can trim the bottom, couple screws into the wood, just shallow screws into the wood, and then my array's on, hidden behind. You see I got a chip in here, and these fit beautiful. This fits beautiful on the top side, but not as good on the bottom, because this is a declining radius. This is kind of swinging back. So this is a tighter radius right here than it is right at the line. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but you can kind of see the hint of the line. It's in pencil. So this all needs to be prepped anyway for the powder coating. Okay, there you can see it pulls in, and we got a real decent shadow line. You know, it doesn't get bigger and smaller. But on the bottom, right there, you can start to see, I don't like that. So I don't have it perfectly positioned, I guess, but I think right there. So I want to tighten, it'll get tightened up. And how I'm going to do that is I'll run a 2-inch tape all the way down here, bolt that down, and pack that with fiberglass, mud, and do the same for this side. And then I'll kind of buff this whole surface and block this whole thing out with a layer of fiberglass on it. Then I'll spray it with some Oh, I don't know if I'll use surfacer or just a heavy build aerosol primer, something like that. Something that I can come in and wet sand it to a perfectly smooth surface and seal it off. So, and then wrap it. And still thinking, I don't know if I put the emblem here or here, the Chrysler emblem. So we'll 3D print a Chrysler emblem in the script that was in 1930. But I think it might look cool here. The VIN tag goes right here. This is wood. Excuse me. Jeez, this is wood. And these will be probably stainless, through the wood accents. And so I want to get onto those pieces, but got to get that routed out, get that done, identify the wiring channel. Kind of nice. The wire goes right over to wherever the light switch is. I think it'll probably be on the driver's side. And voila, we got her in. So that's the game. That's where we're at. Oh, just for shiggles. So that's where the emblem goes. This is the old Chrysler stuff in 1930. So this is a nice, clean emblem that will sit right in there. So I just identified it with Sharpie so that I stay away from it when I make those wood pieces. Make sense? Okay, just doing a test fit, finished up the eyebrows. Across the top, they'll fasten, I don't know if I like those fasteners or not, but some form of fastening across the top. Again, the emblem is marked out. The VIN tag goes right in that marked out area. Walking around to the other side. Ties in across the dash. If I had space, this would be an opportunity for a small AC vent there and there. But with my engine cover coming down this side, above the alternator, something like that, maybe, or an electric AC unit, if I could find space back here to do it. But anyway, so let me go back around. That's kind of how it started. My LED array, let me turn off the lights here, turn on the charger there. That's no diffuser right now. That's just lights washing down. And of course the black line, that's the console. So that washes down. I don't know if I like that kind of waterfall look yet. We'll see. Of course, it's flashing against cardboard. It's going to be different look on metal, but I'll probably put a lens, a diffuser underneath the LEDs. Again, when you get super close, it's not going to, I don't think I can, because of the space constraints that I have. I'm working within a 1-inch area, and the LEDs, they take up at least a half of an inch. So to fit a lens in there, or a diffuser in there, is not necessarily going to take that waterfall out, but it'll defray it a little bit. We'll see. But I'm going to run with this. I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning the wood up and getting them coated, sealed up, and sanded, and then we'll wrap them in the same teak wood as everything else, right? As all these door pieces. These I'm just letting the urethane dry on. They turned out really, really, really nice. I'm very, very happy with them. So 4 coats. Okay, so took and sanded these all down with 180. Well, that's 180. Sanded them all down. They're smooth. They feel like wood. You know, you can kind of feel the graining and the excuse me, the textures in them. And then I wrapped this one. And it went down very well. I think I'm going to have a spectacular bond with to the wood, probably better than to the paint on the other one. In fact, I'm thinking maybe I should wet sand the paint on the last three with some 240. You know, when you do a vinyl wrap on a car, of course, you don't sand the paint down. You might scuff it a little bit and clean it up and hit it with a clay bar and all that, and you got to get all the wax and all that stuff off. But in any event, that worked very, very well. Good adhesion. And I'm learning, you know, again, I have limited experience in wrapping. And anyway, so this is just the teak wood wrap. It's just wonderful how it's got some graining and definition to it. Okay, this is my last piece. My stuff is coming in on Thursday, but I had a strip. So, and that's a piece that I varnished. And I'll try, you can see, I still need to sand it. I've hit it with a brush, and I'll wet sand this and then recoat it again. But the point of me laying this over is you can see the ambering effect on this as compared to that. And although, and this is a satin. Okay, I'm not doing anything in gloss. I'm doing it in satin because satin looks right on wood. I was thinking gloss, and then I got to considering, wait a minute, what am I doing? You know, it's going to have reflection and everything. So this is a little redder. This is a little more orange, a little more amber, and that's what I wanted it to look like. So it kind of starts making it look like real wood. So when I get deep into these, you know, that's 4 coats. I'm just letting them continue to cure. It is still a little bit soft because where the drip boobs are on the back, you can peel them off with your fingernail. You can just pluck them right off. But I want it a little bit soft, so maybe today, maybe tomorrow, I'll start just wet sanding these and probably start with something like 400. And then, of course, these will go into the coating pile. But again, very, very, very happy with how these are turning out. And again, these are these eyebrows for the dash. And everything will kind of tie together. So we decided to get the first coat. Well, I actually a few hours ago coated the bottom of both. I had enough. I had one of them little strips where I could get the tail end of the dash on the bottom strip. So he's done. He's all coated out. So are all wrapped and coated. First coat. This is, and this one are the eyebrows that you just saw moments ago. But I wanted to show you, okay, so, you know, rather than destroying a piece, this is just laying on the table, and that's drip. So yeah, it's got 4 coats on it, but I didn't drip over drip over drip. And I'm just not warm enough in the shop. Just not warm enough. Powder coat oven only goes down to 170. If I could get it down to 100 or something like that, I'd do it, but I'm too scared at 170 to destroy it. There's a lot of time, and there's a fair amount of expense. The wrap is not expensive. It's cheaper than teak wood, but I mean, that roll was 4 foot by 3 foot, and it was just south of $30. It's not a huge expense, and for what I'm doing, the second roll will be more than enough to get those and the other dash piece and whatever else needs to be done. But at the same time, you know, when you got to count your time as something here, and I've got a lot of time into making all this stuff out. So anyway, we are progressing. I got a little bit bored today, so I decided to go ahead and mount those. I had 2 tires sitting here for a long time, so I just hand mounted them on these rims and filled them up. put 3 lugs on. This chassis got to come, or this body's got to come off of this chassis anyways, because the body's got to go to the upholsterer pretty quick. All I have left is the to finish, which is a significant amount of work, but finish the door panels out. You know, get the door latches to surface mount, get a lock mechanism pocket for it, and make at least a template for all the inserts. I'll be doing that. They won't, and those will, I don't know, those are probably going to be painted the same color as the dash, so they match. Anyway, and I have the headliner. So once those, I'll probably do the headliner first, because that's such a significant project, doing that stuff. It's just time consuming as all get out. But I will pick up some more melamine or hardboard or masonite or whatever you call it in your neck of the woods, and get that going. It isn't going to be that big of a deal. I've been kind of procrastinating on it anyway, but almost ready to roll to the upholsterer. Decided to get rid of that little TV and upgrade. So now I got my sound bar, my monitor, and my little monitor on the computer. Am I going crazy? Okay, I graduated to a foam brush. Even though this is a $10 brush, doesn't have the price on it, but it was 10 bucks. You know, something like 10, 11 bucks, something like that. And it works good for horizontal surfaces. But when you're laying up, I sanded this out, and there were runs down in there, even though I, pulled the strokes. So, but anyway, the status is one coat, sand with wet sand 600, second coat wet sand 600, third coat, but I used a foam brush, and they just look divine. They look beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This guy here, I just put him up there right now, and I tipped him up, sanded the whole thing. Now remember, that, and that all had 3 coats. So I sanded him, dry sanded him with 240, and then came back and wet sanded with 600. And I expect that I'll probably have to do another 600 on it, and then final coat it. But it really, really turned out nice. Just because I can kind of see I might be able to just sand it and polish it, but I took quite a bit of material off because that had, runs. And anyway, it worked really well. I had to do some touch-ups. I cut through to the vinyl. You can see on this edge, but it looks cool because it blends in. The camera doesn't do it justice. It looks real, like a knot or something like that. Here's another one. The camera really, really, really doesn't do well with it, but that's like a knot. Turned out really good. I'm very happy with how it looks, and one thing I did note is I cut off all the boobs. I call them boobs, but where the drips, where it gathered on the edge and fell out, I cut all of them off, like right there. This is the interior side. There isn't a lot of emphasis on it, but it's pushing up. These 2 edges are pushing up against the trim, or the door felt and the door channel. So I'll clean them up a little bit more, but they were still a little bit soft. This substantially improves. The amount of drying that's occurred today is better than the last 2 days. So that's really worked out well for me. Anyway, we'll just keep at it as we go, and I'll keep you posted. I'll try to get some action shots. It's kind of hard to do because I'm hunched over a table wet sanding, but we'll try to get some.